Fantastic. So, I'm going to start a new series, and it's going to be weekly, and I'm going to do something that I told myself I wasn't going to do. But yeah, I'm going to do it. I'll explain why I'll do it, and then I'll just start doing it. I had told myself that I was going to not habitually do more than one Doctor Who video a week. Around here, Sunday is Doctor Who. That's what I do. And I never wanted to become a Doctor Who channel. And even though I know I'm fairly well known for being that kind of, I didn't want that to become the focus, so much so that anytime I talked about something else, people were like, why is he talking about other stuff? But there's something that I feel I need to do. And to try and fit this into one Doctor Who video a week schedule, along with the other stuff that I want to do on Doctor Who, yeah, it's not going to work. So until I get caught up, Wednesday is going to be Overdue Doctor Who review day. That just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? And what I mean by that is I only started doing video reviews of Doctor Who episodes starting with Day of the Doctor. And that means that all of Eccleston's run, all of Tennant's run, except for Waters of Mars. I actually did do a review of that specifically. And all of Smith's run, except for Day and Time of the Doctor, I don't have reviews up for. So I want to correct that. And I'm going to have it be Wednesdays, and I'm going to have it be one a week until I'm caught up and I have reviews for all the Doctor Who episodes up, so people can see and all that stuff. So without further ado, let's begin, appropriately enough, at the beginning. And that means we're going to take a look at Series 1, Episode 1, Rose. So there are some things about this episode that I love. And I can pretty much sum it up in 2 words: Christopher Eccleston. I fell in love with him, I think, by, I'd say 30 seconds since his introduction into it. Like right off the bat, he runs into Rose. You know, he helps her escape from Autons, which is a fun callback. Because they're a classic Who villain. They were in the first color Doctor Who story, so that's kind of cool. And he runs with her, and he kind of banters with her a bit, and then he hurries her out of the building, out through this back alley. And I can tell you the moment that I fell in love with Christopher Eccleston's Doctor, and it was when he shoos her off, closes the door, opens the door again, pops his head back out and goes, "I'm the Doctor, by the way. What's your name?" She says, "Rose Tyler." "Nice to meet you, Rose. Run for your life." And he's holding a bomb. The grin on his face, the joy in what he's doing. And especially as we've since gotten the greater context for what the Doctor has been through in his own recent past up to that point, it just makes this amazing, because you realize he's just so excited to just be saving a planet again, just dealing with a low-level threat again, something that he can actually help, because he's been dealing with a time war for who knows how long. But it's just a little thing. Oh, I can help this. This is great. And that energy. And yet there are also moments of the sadness when he takes Rose's hands and said, "I can feel the turn of the earth. We're falling through space, and I can feel it." You get those hints of melancholy with him that is going to underscore his time in the part. And I love that too. And he hooked me so early. He was fantastic. He's, it's the word he uses. It's a great word for his performance. Fair amount of the other stuff here, I'm a little bit iffy on. The autons themselves, I think, like I said, it's a neat little callback, so they're fine, they're functional. And I think that's what you kind of have to go with for your first episode villain. You don't want to break out the huge guns right away. You kind of want to, it's nice to have villains who are recognizable for old-time fans, but also ones that aren't going to require a ton of explanation and don't have a ton of depth, so you don't need to sit there, having prolonged conversations with these things or whatever else, because, we're in a new format now. We're in a 45-minute format. So I think the autons allow us to sort of keep things moving while getting a little bit of Doctor Who iconography into things. So they work pretty well. Rose grew on me over time. Her initial introduction in this, I was like, she's fine. She seemed okay. I didn't like Jackie initially. I'm not gonna lie. And again, I found things to like about her later, but she was just kind of there and like, yeah, okay. Slightly lonely mother, probably used to party in her youth. Okay, yeah. And Mickey was almost kind of a non-presence in this. I will say this, however, I hate the sentient garbage bin and plastic Mickey. I hate both those things. Because that's an example of, to call back to a video I did, a couple weeks, maybe a month ago. That's where Doctor Who crosses the line of too silly. Doctor Who can be silly. I mean, the autons themselves are kind of silly. They're killer store mannequins, basically. But when you have a burping trash can, and when you have Mickey looking this obviously so unlike himself, and Rose not noticing for as long as she does, it feels like Saturday morning cartoon. It's the wrong kind of silly. It's taking something that should be frightening, her boyfriend being replaced, and she doesn't know about it, and making it ridiculous. And that doesn't work for me, like, very much at all. I also think the resolution of this episode is also not great in my mind. There's something about the Doctor having, I mean, I know he says he wasn't going to use it, but just having what is effectively a species-specific poison in his pocket, I'm kind of like, it doesn't seem like the most Doctor thing in the world. And Rose just kind of swinging in feels a little bit contrived. What I will say is, despite the fact that Rose herself, I don't love her off the bat, she does have a good rapport and good chemistry with Eccleston, which is vital. Because, there are times that there are characters who I may not like in a vacuum, but who play well off of the other characters that they're involved in. I do think that is the case here with Rose. But overall, the highlight of this episode, unquestionably, is the Doctor himself. Eccleston just sells the heck out of this part. And the music honestly does a good job too, because we have the Doctor's theme, Murray Gold's The Doctor's Theme, that slow kind of mournful choral piece, which is a great underscore for especially this particular regeneration of the Doctor. So while it's not the best start in the world, the things that it needed to nail, it does. It's just some of the additional stuff as it's going along. It's like, that didn't quite... But it got the Doctor. And that is the most important thing. It got him right off the bat. He is wonderful, and he's sweet, and he's kind of funny, and you want to travel with him. And that's what the Doctor should be. So those are my thoughts on Rose. So yeah, this will be weekly. So hope people are interested in my takes on these old episodes. People indicated that they would. I asked about this a while back. People seemed fairly enticed by the idea, but yeah, I got a lot to get through, so that's what it'll be. One last note. People might know this is taking up the weekly slot that had been taken by my reviews of Inside Number 9. I really don't think I'm going to do video reviews for that again. I did enjoy the show, but I mean, look, I'll be completely honest. Those videos were like the only things I've put up in the last year that couldn't even crack 1,000 views. Like, I know some people liked them, but if I do any more reviews of Inside Number 9, I might toss them off in a podcast as opposed to doing them as video form. And if I do, I'll mention that in the community section or something, so that the people who liked my reviews of those can find them. That's a maybe right now. I need to figure out when I'm gonna get back to the show now that I've finished off series 1. I'm rambling at this point. In any case, Rose, series 1, episode 1, Christopher Eccleston's first go as the Doctor. What did you think about it? Whatever your thoughts are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. There's a bunch of buttons and links and stuff, including to my Patreon, and check them out if you're interested. And remember, folks, you are the council. I just run the meetings. And until next time, this council is adjourned.